football show. It's been an absolute minute. It feels great to be back. I'm feeling much better. It's great to see these lads as well. Back in my room, as you can see, which is another great plus. The roof got fixed today. We've had a new member join us in Michael Macklemore, which is a bit of a mouthful, but I like the name and a lovely dog there. I think it's an XL, isn't it? But big up to you, brother. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry for being a little bit late. Just had to make some peanut butter on toast and a nice cup of tea. But we're all good now. We're all good to go. Obviously, massive game tomorrow at 12:30 down at St Mary's. They're not going great. Leeds United are, and we've got some great stats to go through. We'll obviously pick through the bones of Southampton and why they are so poor and what they're doing wrong and maybe what they're doing right because they started the season well, right? So we're going to do all that. Before we do though, please do smash a like on the video. Please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe or follow. Follow Andrea on Twitter and obviously subscribe to Lockie Leeds as well. Okay, so make sure you check them all out. Before we do get into it though, let's do a little check and see temperature check, as they say in business speak. Andrea, how are you doing, brother? How's things?
Good, mate. Good. Things are going well. So yeah, I'm happy for that. You know, things are going well. Football is back tomorrow. I couldn't watch live the game, of course, on Saturday because there was another game in Italy.
How did that go on? The one you went to? Did you win?
Yeah, 2-1. They won 2-1. Yeah. Then
good.
Then there was also a midweek fixture in Italy. That we're having that next week, of course, with Leeds with QPR.
Yeah.
But this time it was in Italy midweek. So I watched 2 games in the space of 4 days. So happy days apart from work.
Yeah.
Work. It's doing fine. It's not a very busy week, honestly. In terms of my of what I'm accustomed to of the full amount of work. It was a control one,
Nice
to keep all the things together. So yeah, the weekend has arrived, and weekend means only one thing apart from parties and relax. It means football.
Yes.
So
yes.
we're looking forward for that.
How are Italy doing in the rugby, bro?
I watched the first 10 minutes, then I switched off because
it's 49. It's 49-3 right now. So
yeah. I know,
but listen,
it was mental because the commentators were saying before of the game, they fear us because if they lose, they're out, and we have still a game against France. I was like, what? We have no chance. We have no chance against them, and
no. The All Blacks are they're a different beast, aren't they? The All Blacks, let's be honest. Yeah, even when I didn't like rugby union, I remember Jonah Lomu rugby. I don't know if you'll remember, but it was on PlayStation 1. And Jonah Lomu, and you would just give him the ball, and everyone. I mean, basically, it was just a bird's eye view. It was just a head. They used to run like this on the PS1, but everyone would just bounce off Jonah Lomu, and that's when I found out about the All Blacks. It was all a bit mad, but yeah, they're unbelievable. Lockie, how's you, mate? You've been busy this week, no doubt, with uni and stuff. But how are you doing? All good?
Yeah, it's with a uni football, mate. Uni's not even started yet. That's going to be fun. Yeah, it's been a wild one, trials, all that fun stuff, start of the season, pre-season, picking time the teams, all that. Yeah, it's been busy, but like Andrea said, I love Fridays because you've got football on Saturday. It just makes when your team's playing well and just you just feel better, don't you, going into the weekend?
100%.
Yeah, it's not Fridays a food shop in England. Fridays, no.
Fridays.
It's not like Five Guys Fridays. It's not something like that. Fridays in England.
Oh no, there is. I think it's a southern thing called Fridays. Yeah.
Okay, in London probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or TGI Fridays.
There's TGIs and then there's one just called Fridays.
Oh, okay. So I probably have seen them in London. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why.
I don't eat out enough, to be honest. I'm more of a takeaway in kind of guy. I don't really go out.
In front of the TV, just with some food.
Yeah, nice pizza or Chinese or Although my Chinese consists of chips, chicken fried rice, and curry sauce. So I don't even think it constitutes as Chinese, to be honest, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's should we talk about how Leeds are doing?
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about how Leeds are doing first, right? Because we had obviously the pre-match presser. Not really much in that, apart from there's no more injuries, which is great. Bamford's coming back. We've got an abundance of options in all positions. I can't remember the last time it looked like this. Like, the mad thing is, I think what really rammed it home to me was at the end when Phil Hay asked about Ilya Gruyev, and he basically said we can take our time because we have Ampadu, Gray and Kamara, who are already at the level needed. And it just made me realise, thinking, yeah. And when they were asking about Bamford, and he says, remember, Bamford's here to help us, not us here to help Bamford. And it made me think again, wow, like, how long was it that we was just, every press conference was consumed by Bamford because we were like, we need him back. We don't have a striker. He needs to be back. And what if he get, and now we can just look at it and say, wow, we've got options all over the park. They're all great options. Like, it's so good, right, Lockie?
It's great, mate. And like I said on Bamford, because of the situation in the last, I guess, 2 years, really, there was a big emphasis on a striker. And when your striker's not scoring as consistently as he did in the first season, you kind of, everything's on the striker, right? Everything's on, well, why is he not fit? And then when he's fit, why is he not sharp? Why is he not playing well? Why is he not scoring? So not only is it good for us that we have depth there and a guy who seems fit and seems like he can score, but good for him to just take that break and actually maybe realign himself and find the best form of him. He's getting older in his career now, isn't he, than when we were in Championship before, but just be a player that can just come on and affect the game in a way that he can, like he did a few years ago. And it's good for us in every position. Like you said, with Gruev, there's no pressure on Archie Gray every week to perform. He can just develop under these good players and learn. He doesn't have to learn in games. He can learn in training. It's really good. And that's it for me. Like, you look at the centre mid and Kamara gets injured. You've got Gruev and Archie Gray, for example. Ampadu gets injured, a bit more of a worry, but you still got Kamara, Gruev, Archie Gray again. We're looking good, and genuinely, when was the last time we had depth like this? Where even under Bielsa and Championship,
no, we never had it, bro. We never had it.
O'Leary,
we never had.
Yeah, just kids, and genuinely, it's good. It's good in every way. Like, the squad's good. We like the players again. It's even, look at the wingers as well. Like, you're talking about Jayden Anthony, who could start from probably any other Championship side, and he's on the bench. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's mad when you actually deep it and think about that depth. We genuinely haven't had depth like we never had it under Bielsa. I remember when players were injured, we were playing players like Jordan Stevens, Stuart McKinstry. People were clamouring for Ryan Edmonds and all these different factors, and so even under Bielsa it was never like this. This is why I guess confidence is so high. And Andrea, I'm gonna rattle through a few things, and I want you to give me an opinion on them. Obviously, LUFC data did a thread earlier on, and it really just shows how good Leeds have been and why we have why we should be so positive, to be honest, because we've got no Championship player has created more big chances this season than Rutter. Only Blackburn have created more big chances than Leeds, and they've created 18. We've created 17. Dan James, most assists in the league. Only Ipswich have made more shot-ending high turnovers than Leeds. They're on 20, we're on 17. But we know as well, let's not remember, that for the first 3 or 4 games, we didn't even get going. So the fact that we're already close to them is huge. No Championship side has conceded fewer goals from open play than Leeds United, that being just 4. Nice. Leeds have faced the 3rd lowest amount of shots from open play, which is just 61 in total. And we've made more high turnovers than any other Championship side, and that's 88. So, Andrea, when you hear all that, it's like, we have every reason to be positive, and it can only get better, right? Because we're only on game 8, is it 7, 8? It's mad.
Yeah, and that's why we brought Farke in the end.
Yeah.
We know that this appointment was made in particular to implement this style of football, this mentality, and to bring balance to the team, because we look a very imbalanced team in the last 2 years, and with new players coming in, suited and fit for this style of football, the team face has changed totally, and we're finally feeling good vibes again. And it's honestly more good vibes right now than the last 2 years when we were in the Premier League, and that's mental because, of course, we're in a league below. We're in the second tier, not in the first tier right now, but we've seen that the club is going places again. A new ownership that invested in the club, and in the summer retained key players, Somerville and Nyonto. Of course, they had to lose some key players because of the clauses and other by choices of certain situations like Adams and Sinisterra, but they knew that Faki needed certain players to play this style of football that you mentioned, to play and put players in specific places to perform and create those data, and they did. And now we have a manager who was very frank and clear, and is brought back mentality, belief, and we've seen that this style of football is benefiting the players like Gray. You mentioned Gray. We mentioned James. James has not been great overall throughout the game, but in key moments, he's there. He knows what he has to do, and he's been like a crucial key player in certain moments, especially from the bench when he came on at Millwall, for example. Is like an experienced player in this league because, of course, he played for Man United and also in the Premier League. But if you remember, at Swansea, he was a similar player. Of course, he was more one-on-one, but right now he's not one-on-one. He's more, a squad player in terms of not squad player in terms of role, but a player who plays for his teammates, creates chances for his teammates, and that's good because, of course, there's work behind it. Because James used to be a very different player, a one-on-one player attacking the spaces. Right now, he's smarter. Throughout the game. And also Rutter. We mentioned Rutter earlier. We said that he was not a number 9.
What a turnaround, by the way.
Yeah, but and in the end, it was an easy turnaround for me because he was not a number 9. Of course, he starts in the position, but he moves backwards and he plays all around, and that suits massively his style of football because he has freedom. He can express, like the song, express yourself in Italy 90, word in motion. Now he moves all over the pitch. He has freedom. He's like an advanced playmaker. I watched, for example, in Serie A yesterday, Bologna Monza. There was Zirkzee, the Dutch striker. He was similar to Rutter in that position. They called him advanced playmaker. Yeah, Rutter can be like that because he goes back, he moves the defense, and Pirot stays up front. So the changes that Farke made to the team, honestly, to get the team more balanced, because also the defensive stats that you mentioned, those are great. And also considering the fact that many of them were under, of course, the pair of centre-backs, Rodon and Strauch. But was I worried before Watford? Yes, because I didn't know how Strauch and Cooper would have paired looking at the past. But it shows you the system improves all the player, because we remember Strauch and Cooper, they struggled recently when they played together in the last season. But under Farke, look, the system is there, and even if the player changes, it's the position that matters. Every player interprets and performs in that position, sticking to the principles of that style of football. So that's great to see. Honestly, the team before the players. Honestly, that's the current motto, and of course we're fine for that right now.
Yeah, we are. It's amazing. And just to add as well, you mentioned Gray. No player under the age of 19's played more minutes than him in the Championship, and he's just looked like taken to it like a duck to water, hasn't he? He's been absolutely fantastic. So we have every reason to be confident and be buoyant ahead of this fixture. The title says, can Leeds exasperate the Saints' struggles? They're not in a good moment. They've lost 4 on the spin. It's not looking great for them. Russell Martin, there's that little bit of edge. Martin, Farke, I like that little aspect, because as much as they can be cordial in the press, behind the scenes, each manager wants to beat the other. And I think that really, really helps Daniel Farke for me personally, because I'm like, he's going up to really win this game. And I think the positive is Russell Martin will be doing the same. And if they do that, then like the stats say, high turnovers, all that sort of stuff, I think don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm confident is what I'm going to say. Shall we get into Southampton, lads, and have a little deep dive into what they've got for us? Yeah, get into them. We'll do that. Yeah, no worries. Take your time, bro. We will be doing. I'll be here for a watch along in the morning, folks, as well. So while Lockie just gets up the stuff, you can join us tomorrow, 11:30, because it's an early kickoff, isn't it? So make sure you join us for that. Gordon White says, "Good evening, fellas. The A team are in town. Nice to see."
Thank you.
Vega with us as well. David says, "Joe, I've just realised there aren't those cute donkeys looking over your shoulder." I know. I've moved out of the front room, and I'm glad for it. I can't lie to you, because it looked like a bomb site, and it was doing me head in having to walk round it all.
Also, before Loki puts his analysis up, I've seen the two pictures of Fark and Martin, and you mentioned them. Let's remember that during the first season of Farke at Norwich, Russell Martin was his captain.
Yeah,
and he was sold in January to Rangers on loan. But yeah, he started in the team, but then Farke took him out of the team. They are on good terms now, but at the time I think they were a little bit bitter. I think because after many years,
Yeah, well, I prior to the press conference, my video, I had a quick look, and if you Google it, there's actually an Athletic piece where Russell Martin speaks about Daniel Farke, and he says it's professional and all this, but like in one of the games, I think in one of the games he said, "Listen, I'm going to bring such and such on for you," and Russell Martin wanted to say to him, "Well, just take me off now, because if you take me off 10 minutes into the second half, you're going to kill me." But he never said it, and then 10 minutes into the second half, he took him off and he killed him. And I think Stephen Naismith had been their record signing, and he just basically said to them both, "I was going to go with yous, but I've decided not. I'm going to go with the youth," and sort of like just bin them out. So I think that as much as they want to say, "Oh yeah," because that's what they're going to say, I think there's that little bit of needle there for sure. Just before we bring up the Saints stat, John Garside says 3-0 Leeds. Let's go effing mental, I think is what that is. But yeah, member for a month. Thank you very much, John. Great to have you on board. Right, let's get up the Southampton stats. And just before we do, Lockie, anyone who doesn't like this stuff, just don't watch, okay? Like don't complain in the comments or like that. Just go watch something else and then come back after this bit, okay? Thank you.
That's analysis for you. That's analysis for you.
This week's fairly basic, because a lot of us we already know about Southampton, right? It's a very high profile team. We know what they play like. But just clarify, the star is next to Ryan Fraser. That shouldn't be there. It's meant to be an Armstrong, but I forgot to move it from last week. So let me just clarify that. But yeah, we all know the names, the lineups. I think that's what stood out for me from Southampton originally. Good individuals, regardless of league position, that's a good team. When you look at it,
of course,
it's a good team. And when you look at the names that are not in there as well, look at Howard Bellis and Bednarek, and you've got Walker Peters, who's still in this league. Ryan Manning at left back, small bones, really tidy in there.
Yeah. Flynn Downs was at West Ham last year.
Downs, Adam Armstrong's dangerous. Che Adams is Che Adams. And Ryan Fraser, who's playing in the Premier League. So as an 11, it's and then some of the subs, it's a good squad. And that's what you hear Farke in the press conference. Obviously, behind the scenes, he's very confident in his side. You always are, but you've always got to be wary that at the end of the day, if 5 or 6 of these individuals decide to turn up and play really well, a Walker Peters and Armstrong or Chadham's play really well in a game, they'll have a chance to win any game in this league. So we have to be ready. I know it's hard given 4 losses in a row, and you've got to be really confident and feed off that, of course. But always have that little bit in your mind, not be too confident, just because they're not a side that will lose every game, right? They are a good side when they turn it on. The problem is they've not found that form recently. So that's just one thing I just wanted to mention before. But yeah, that's the side.
So, and someone asked, and I don't know if they mean it in a way like no chance, but I think it's easy to say that now with hindsight. But I think on paper, would I take a Howard Bellis? Potentially. Would I take Kyle Walker-Peters over an Ailing? Maybe not over Spence, but would I take him over the rest? Yes. Did we all want Ryan Manning? Yes. Would I take him? Yes. I think it's remiss of us to all just sit here now and say, none of them. A lot of them would. I genuinely believe a lot of them would, folks. So I don't want to be too disparaging towards them, because I think they are, like you've said, they're a good side on paper.
And that's what I remember. Like we were linked with Howard Bellison at the time.
Yeah.
Everyone was buzzing with that. We were linked with. Well, we're not linked with, but Che Adams. If we'd have got him at the start of the window, we'd have been happy with that. I think Walker Peters. If anyone, Premier League clubs want Walker Peters, like Ryan Manning, we were good when we didn't get Ryan Manning at the start. I mean, obviously, like you said, in hindsight, now we're cooking on gas and we've got Sam Byram left back. We're not worried about that.
Yeah,
but they are good players. They have got some good players in there. And look, this is the bench as well, and there's still some good names. Samuel Dozie, I really rate. He's a brilliant young player. Sulemara, I don't know if is he still red carded for this game? Or was that
right? I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, is it gone? Has it? He got straight red, didn't he? 2 games ago.
Yeah,
I don't know.
2 or 3. I can't remember. But hopefully he's not playing because on his day
I'm gonna check.
he's too good for this league on his day. Stewart is injured as well, I believe. Right?
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
Jack Stevens injured as well. So look. There's still some good names. Stuart Armstrong's capable. Carlos Alcaraz is capable.
Joe Rebo as well. I'm surprised he's not getting more game time, to be honest.
Yeah. Dozie, like I said, Mara as well. Like they've still got good players. Not as deep as I thought they were, to be honest. You know what I mean? When you mentioned their squad and how big the squad they had last year, it's getting thin. You had 2 or 3 of these guys injured there, not available, injured. It's not a huge depth, but like it's just good names in it. It's a good championship side at the end of the day, so we need to be careful with that. But Jack Stevens being out is huge because he was their captain, I believe, before he got injured. So big one.
Also, Larius is injured. Yeah.
Who else?
Larius too. I think he's still injured. Also this one, but the other ones, I think just Stevens, Larius, and Stewart. That's the 3 injured. The other one are available. Yeah.
And as a starting 11, like realistically, you could probably add a Dozie in there. I'd imagine. You're looking at Holgate started, but wasn't great, so potentially he might get dropped. Manning didn't play last game. I don't know whether that was down to an injury or a lack of form. Walker Peters played on the left, and Holgate came on the right, so I'm not sure why that was.
No, I think he decided to change things because he played Holgate as the right back. And the Walker Peters on the left, and he changed and subbed off Holgate and plays again Walker Peters on the right and Manning on the left at the half, basically in the second half. So it was again another mix up by Russell Martin. He changes a lot. So but we'll talk about that later probably.
So obviously dangers again. I've not gone ignore any spelling mistakes if there is any. I was rushing doing this yesterday. If there is any, I apologize. But like dangers, you could just Chadham's is one example. You're talking about small bone in there. You let him dictate play. You're in trouble. He's a good player. They've got a lot of dangers. Like I said, they're very technical. They're quick and direct. The wingers, and that's something I'll talk about. The wingers are dangerous. Ryan Fraser and Armstrong are quick. Dozie, Sulemara are quick. Ignore free kicks. I don't know why it says free kicks at the end. That shouldn't be there. And then what I put is the front fluidity. Like they're very, I guess you could say, compact in the middle. They keep it well. They pass it around. But once there's a trigger and that space is there, as you can see, the 26 is Ryan Fraser. And look how high his average position is in 2 different games. Very high. And that is Adam Armstrong, the number 9 next to him. Also very high. So it's interesting. They're players, and Adam Armstrong for me is a key in this game because his off the ball movement in and around kind of the back 4 is very dangerous. He's very quick and direct. Is Adam Armstrong, and that's where he scored against us a few times as well recently. So they're 2 players for me, especially with our vulnerabilities at fullback at times, especially on the right. Obviously, as you can see, when Ryan Manning plays, he didn't play this game. Look how high advanced he is as well. But when Manning's advanced, that allows, obviously, Armstrong and Fraser to be more advanced. So they really pack this right side of the field, which you'd imagine they will do against us. So whoever's at right back, and we'll get into that obviously at the end, whoever's at right back could have a difficult task this game. So it's going to be big. And that's why there might be some changes in that. We'll see anyway. But the point is, you can see the packed midfield they have, the technical players in there, and then the great width they create with the fast players that will just literally just go in behind at any second, because that's how they coach to do. But we know about Chadams as well, don't we? We know he can be dangerous. He can, on his day, he's probably one of the best strikers in this league. His movement's brilliant. The way he holds the ball up, he can finish as well. Yeah, Chadams is a top player to have at this level. I just want to get on some clips now. And there's a lot of stuff of how we beat him. Just quickly on how they can play. So what they do is, and they pushed their midfielders up here. So that's Smallbone there. That's Armstrong. Look, always ready to run off the final man, always looking for spaces. But they pass the ball here, and what they do is they'll cut the midfield if they can and go straight into Che Adams, who will drop a bit deeper. And that's where you're in trouble. If that ball gets out of this area into Che Adams in the final third, you'll have Armstrong here making that late run. And that's where they're in trouble. And that's where they scored from against Middlesbrough. So the big battle now is not to allow balls through. We can't let out through. If we keep them wide, we can keep them at bay a bit more. That's when they struggle to break teams down. But if you let them through, they'll kill you off, because they are a good team still. They've got good players. Che Adams and Armstrong combination is dangerous. So, like I said, be patient in the middle, quick and direct off the ball, forward runners. That's what they'll do. So we have to watch. Those forward runners are vital, and you'll see that tomorrow. Armstrong is on the last man. He's a very good player. But I just want to quickly show some of the stats. What stands out for me is the clean sheets. They've not had any.
Wow.
They've not had any clean sheets. That is wild. Even at the start of the season, I thought they must have had one or two. None. Look at the goals conceded per game compared to ours. 2.4 compared to our 0.9. That right there is enough for you to go, right, what do we have? We have potentially some of the best attackers in the league. They've not had a clean sheet, and they've conceded 2.4 per game on average. That's a weakness if I've ever seen one. That's what we can exploit.
2.4 on average per game, yeah?
Yes, this season so far, yeah.
Okay.
That's wild,
That's not good, is it?
Ours is
They look
0.9.
like us in the Premier League, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll show you why they did it. And there's some other stats people can read. They pause and read there. But yeah, I'll show you why as well. So this is what we need to do. It's called setting traps, right? So what they did, Middlesbrough, they forced Walker-Peters back into this area. And the only pass on now is Shea Charles. But they knew that. So what they did, they set that trap. As soon as that ball went to Shea Charles, this guy, I can't remember who that was, he's ready to tackle him. He's setting
Crooks,
that trap
I think.
straight away.
Probably.
Yeah, Crooks.
Yeah.
Setting that trap, 3 of them around the ball, ready for this pass. What happens after that? As soon as they win it, there we go. 3 advanced runners against. And that's where they're in trouble. And that's what we need to do. Now imagine that's our attackers. Imagine we set them traps with Ampadu. We have players who can do that. Win that battle in there, and then we've got Somerville and Perot running them. That's where we can be dangerous, and it gets worse for them. This one is ridiculous. So this is the trap now. The ball goes to Holgate, gets pressed straight away. And look how many men they've got up the pitch. They've got 3 back. That's it. They're playing out from the back here. They've got 3 back. 1v1 press. That's all it was. Win the ball. 4v3 instantly. Wow. They're not. Look, that's all their midfield. Look, nowhere near. And the fullbacks, nowhere near. And then the final one. This one's frightening for them. So they win the ball here. This guy, I can't see who that is. Is that Armstrong potentially? So they look how high they are.
Stuart Armstrong, that one.
Look how high.
Scottish one.
Look how high they've advanced. That's Walker-Peters. Now, it came from a set piece, but what happened was this is like at least 5 or 6 seconds since that set piece, and they're still advanced, and they give the ball to Armstrong, and there was no options. Wow. They took that risk in putting players high, but there was no option. So what Middlesbrough did, they just pressed it. They knew they had the advantage. If they could press it, 4v1.
Wow.
There's a similar picture when they lost to Leicester. To this one.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. We've got to be patient. And if we can win the ball in this area, this area or this area here, and just run forward, and we'll outnumber them, because they look how high they are here. Look how advanced their players are. And that's fine. That's where they play, and fair play to them. But you'll get caught if you're not good on the ball. City do it. They leave 2 back. But the difference is they're outstanding on the ball, and they do not make mistakes. Southampton are not there yet. And this is scary for them. They lose the ball in this position.
We're going to score, aren't we? It
exactly.
Is what it is.
And that's why they concede 2.4 goals a game. Look how bad that is. And they're not getting back. They're not quick enough to get back. That's another thing as well. They've got all this silk and all this technical ability, but they've got no steel or kind of that raw pace at the back. So they're in trouble here. I think is that Ryan Manning? I can't tell. 1v4.
Yeah,
you're in big trouble. And this is, with respect, Middlesbrough, who have not had a great start. We're a team who has players in the middle who can win that ball high up. Somerville is good at it. Ampadu can do it. Gray can do it. Whoever that is, we can do that. And we have the players. They missed this, by the way. They didn't score from this opportunity. We have players in this situation that will finish this off. And you can go to any game they played. And these situations just like this. This was just Middlesbrough. We saw it against Leicester. How many times in the first half did they give the ball away at the back? Like, look at that. You win that ball. Go on.
And lucky that Borough hadn't won a game before that one too.
Yeah, exactly.
They hadn't won yet.
That was a poor side breaking them down because they pushed guys up and they took risks, and they'll do it all game. They'll do this all game. They'll push guys up and take risks. Will they change against us? That's what I'm interested in. I don't think they will. I think that's their style. That's their style, isn't it?
Yeah.
And fair play, right? Look, it'll either work or it won't. But if we set up right, we can be in these positions many times because we're a good team. Just final one for me, how we win, be aggressive, like we're just shown. Press hard but smart. We can't get over thinking with, because look, they've still got good technical players. If our press isn't 100% on, they'll pass it around you, and then you're in trouble because you'll commit players by pressing. So our press has to be smart as well. Pick the set traps, pick moments when it'll be certain players or certain situations in the game where you that's a trigger. Go press, and that's it. Then use your players. Then you've got them 4 players up top who can destroy any team. Use our technicability and physicality. More our physicality in this one. Just be more physical than them. They have a lot of technical players, right? They do. They don't have a lot of physical ones. Be decisive, be clinical. That's it. And we'll end as usual on Smiley Farker.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
I'll jump on briefly from this one.
Do you know what though? Just while Andrea's setting up, like for me, I don't see how we can lose this game, and I know that's wild, but I just don't see it. I think it's there. I think they look, even before Ipswich when we were doing poor, I said teams that want to come play, this is going to suit us, and I think this is going to be even better. After seeing what Leicester did to them, I think we can do.
I think my slight worry is Armstrong and Fraser. Now I know they are very quick, and Armstrong can finish. So if we lose the ball at the back, they press us a little bit, and we lose it. They can get 2v1 out wide with Adams and Armstrong. Could be in trouble, but we'll have worked on that. We'll have figured out. We've got to be good. We've got to be as good as we can in possession. Like against Watford in that second half, we're brilliant in possession.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's get it. So,
this is my prospective lineup. The only difference I think from yours, Loki, is that I put Allgate starting, and that's the only one basically. Because I think he'll start out of Adolf Bellis, because I think knowing Russell Martin, he'll go for the more experienced player in this type of game, I think. So I think he'll play with Bernarek and Allgate, but it's either him or Adolf Bellis. I don't think we'll see Allgate again on as the right back, I think. Yeah, I've prepared some situations. Some are similar to the one Loki showed. The first one is basically how they defended against Borough when Borough was building up. This is our defensive 4-3-3. As you can see, I've pointed out tight fullbacks. You see that Allgate is very close to the right centre back, Alvarez Bellis, and Walker Peters here is very close to the left centre back, Bednarek. So from here, of course, they want to send you basically on the wings. Crown in the middle with Downs, Charles, and Smallwood. And by the way, you see that here they recover the ball in this particular occasion, and what they do is basically based on the center mid that receives the ball. Either Smallwood or Downs eyes his position and try to press the player and exits the three line, the three midfield. So the key here is either sending the ball to the wing and try to 1-on-1, or try to get verticality in the middle, because if you get past those two players, they are in deep trouble, because you just have Charles here, and these two, especially if you recover the ball higher on the pitch, not when they're defending in a narrow formation. You have the right back and the left back, as Doki showed in his analysis, either in a high position on the pitch. So you have basically the two centre backs and the DM, and they are very open. If the key for me is verticality tomorrow, getting past those two, the two centre mids ahead of the DM. If you get past their very light pressing, we can call it like that, very light pressing. We are okay, I think, because you see here they are very, very narrow. The only one who can press the ball here is basically Adams. They're sending the ball here to one of the center mid of Boro and Smallbone is going to try and press him and take the ball from him. It's what they do, they'll try to do that with Ampadu and Gray, with either Downs and Smallbone going to try to press the receiving player, but another key, and Boro used that a lot against them, is either try verticality or send the ball to the wings, because of course there's space here to go with a one-on-one, and of course from there you can create and attack them. So I think for the way we play, we have many options, but I'll try to crowd the middle, like me and Loki have pointed out. Verticality is the key. Try to get those two high, get past them, because if you get past them, there's a lot of space here, especially for Rutter. Rutter will be key here, going back to protect the ball. Also, look at what Smallbone is doing here. He was successful in this particular action, because he recovered the ball and they scored on the counter attack, if I remember correctly. But imagine the player here is Rutter. Smallbone is not a great runner, let's be honest.
No, he's gone past you straight away, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gonna pass past him straight away. Exactly what I was gonna say. So yeah, I don't like their formation, honestly, because of course they are a ball possession system, slow build up with three similar players in midfield. They are not pacey. They are all the three of them are similar. They either one of them can play in the DM position, and they don't have pace. So if we get past them with verticality, they don't get us. They don't get our players, especially if Rutter drops back and turns around like he likes to do. They aren't getting him.
I like the prospect of Somerville in them areas as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think he's very good in them areas.
Good point, great point actually, because you see here Jones from Boro. If you go central with Rutter also spacing in all this area, you have plenty of options, because especially the left back then has to follow Somerville, and you free the space for the right back going behind. So there's a lot of options. The second one is an attacking one. Let's wait for okay. This one is, I think, a similar one actually. The similar one that Loki showed. Yeah, exactly. There when they created, then the ball went.
Great minds think alike, lads. Great minds think alike.
Exactly. You can see here that they have the left back, Walker Peters, Bednarek, centre back, Downs here. So as you can see, you have Smallbone here, Downs here, and Charles here. Those three move and interchange a lot their formation. Smallbone is usually the one going higher on the pitch, try to be like the link up between those two midfielders when they are building up, and one of the wingers and the striker. So Smallbone is the one to try to get out of the line and get him behind for me, because Downs and Charles are more like a creators, a playmakers. Smallbone is the pressing one, the one going out on the pitch. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on one side, on the left side. So they overload on one side. Of course, you have to follow them. So they have the option to change the side, of course, to create an advantage. And then that's exactly what they did here, because the ball went to Adams, and then Adams sent the ball to Armstrong, Adam Armstrong, of course, the CR7 of the championship, because of his celebration, going in behind, So they'll try to do that a lot. Try to overload on one side and then change to create an advantage and have Armstrong go one-on-one against one of our fullbacks, or either have Armstrong go 1-1 and try to interchange Adams, because Adams also gets back a lot in these areas. That shows you that they are a ball possession system. But it doesn't suit them, because you have the option to play with Armstrong here, but Fraser is basically ineffective here. Yeah, what can he do? It's crowded here. What can he do? So that's another example. The other one that I mentioned is the defense on the counter. Here they lost the ball in the middle of the park, so they went back, tried to catch up with the ball. Basically, they lost the ball. Boro sent the ball here to the winger. The winger passed the ball back here, and he didn't have the opportunity because Manning went on him to go straight for goal, so he turned around, Crooks here. But look, on a counter-attack, how they return on defense, You have Armstrong and Downs very close. Walker Peters is right, because he went for his man. Arwood Bellis is not marking anyone. and is returned to his natural positioning because of Bednarek. The one out of the line is Manning, because Manning should be here, because you have Jones free here.
If you're smart there, Andre, and you can notice that space he's got on the right, that number 10 there.
Exactly.
Oh,
Jones here has a lot of space, and if the ball goes here, you have a 2 versus 1 here, because you have also the striker here against Bednarek. But look, small ball, Manning and Chas, 3 players on 1. If he gets the ball here, and he did, they have overloaded again on one side, and you have a lot of free space on the other one. So what we need to do is try to, when we attack and we don't have space, try to get down on one side, and we have the opportunity to do that exactly with what Joe said. Somerville and Rotter. Somerville and Rotter can do that. They can hold the ball and play with their back on goal. Somerville can be the link up. Rotter can be the one dribbling, turning around and creating the space, because of course if he dribbles past one of the centre backs has to go for him, and you have a lot of free space on the other side. So that's the other example. The final 2 ones are this one first. This is a picture of the build-up. It was 1-1. Again, overload on one side, but they have the risk of being exposed with verticality, because they have Adams who drop back there to get the ball. Look where he is. You have Armstrong playing in the 9 basically here. Walker Peters here. Manning here. This shows you exactly what Lockie said. Look at the fullbacks. Walker Peters is basically playing in the right wing position. The right wing winger is playing in the number 9, Armstrong. The left winger, Fraser, is in his lateral position, but he's going inside, so he's left space for Manning. But Manning and Walker Peters are too high. Look where down it is, and Smallbone and Charles are. If they lose the ball here, look how many players. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 players of ball. I think this was before the slide that you show, Loki, I think, when they were 4 against 1. Yeah. If they lose the ball, and I think Charles lost the ball here, there's a lot of space. And we've seen that we are very, very good in doing that against Millwall, especially in the counter. They're not fast. Again, I'm going to say this again. Downs, Smallbone, and Charles are not fast. They are not. So we need to go vertical. And also there's the option, if you recover the ball, especially with the press we have, Somerville, Anthony, very fast players, to send the ball with a long ball to one side and let them do the one-on-one. We have a lot of options. I really don't like them as a team, honestly, because they have a slow ball possession system.
I love that. I don't like them. I hate them.
I like them.
Yeah, I don't like them, honestly, because on paper they're a good side, but I think they're badly managed, honestly. And Russell Martin did well against at Swansea, but he had the players to play this system. I think he doesn't have the player to play the system he wants to play at Southampton, honestly. And I don't think he lasts long if he keeps playing like that. I'd rather play with Aribo and Armstrong with Downs in the number 6, in the number 4, sorry, with the playmaker position, than play with Smallbone and Charles, honestly, because they are too unbalanced. They have 3 slow players in the middle. They have 3 slow players. So look here, this is the final one. They have lost possession in the build-up from the back. So they were building up with the Arwood, Bellis, and Bandar. This is also similar to what we try to do, but we have the players to play that system. You don't have them, Russell Martin. You're not Daniel Farke in that specific case. So I don't get it, honestly, on a manager point of view, of course. He wants to play this system, but he doesn't have the players for this system. You have Arwood, Bellis, and Bednarek starting the build-up. The 2 centre mids, Charles and Downs, try to build up and help them, but you have the 2 fullbacks already in their attacking position. They lost the ball. Look here. The 2 centre-backs left alone. Downs and Charles, they have to go back. And you have all the other players. Basically, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 10 outfit players facing a counter-attack in a very open position, central. If one of those 4 players of Boro goes wide, and tries to get him wider from a wide position, they are in a very bad position. So
they are.
It's not ideal that. So verticality is the key. Pressing, I think pressing will be their kryptonite, like in Superman,
They can't deal with presses. They can't deal.
Yeah, they can't deal with presses.
Really struggle.
Exactly. They struggle. Look here. They pressed them. They lost the ball. Look in the situation they're in, and it happened against Leicester too. Yeah. I think there's a disjoint team because they are very imbalanced. They overload on one side. They have the two fullbacks going forward. They try to play in the middle, not going to the fullbacks, so it doesn't make sense for me. If they lost possession, they're in a bad position because they have three slow center mids that can deal with the pressing because they're not as fast as our attacking midfielders, for example, or attacking wingers. I don't see it, honestly, very, very good for them if they play with this style. I think they need to be more balanced, honestly. That's it for me.
Good stuff. Thank you very much for that, Andrea. As always, and Lockie, great analysis from a Southampton perspective. And all that has done for me, and I think the majority of the chat as well, is just filled me with even more confidence. And, you know, someone just said there, Martin Vega said, Martin sacked by Monday. If he loses 5 on the spin, mate, and we give them a bit of a thumping, then it's not out of the realms of possibility, to be honest, because they don't want to leave themselves with too much to do, I guess, because they'll be hoping for an automatic spot, and there's genuinely the risk of a couple of teams pulling away. And when I say that, I say us, I say Ipswich, and I say Leicester. So yeah, that for me at the minute anyway is your top 2 shootout between 3 sides, but we'll see. Let's have a look at what Leeds United are going to do. I have taken the basically, I've put in what I believe will definitely be shoo-ins, and it's sort of the spine of the team. I've put in Meslier, Ampadu, Rutter and Pirot. I think anywhere outside of that is up for contention. Just because we've got Rodon returning, you know, so will Strout go, or will he play Rodon and Cooper? Who will play it in the 8? Will it be Gray? Will it be Kamara? And obviously the wings either side. Again, Jadon Anthony played well. James has got loads of assists. So even at right back, I thought Shackleton did great there. Does Aliens? So there's loads for us to discuss. But I think, are you safe, lads, with Meslier, Ampadu, Rutter, Pirot definitely being starters?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start then. We'll go from back to front, and we'll start with left back. Who comes in? Who plays left back for you, lads? I mean, obviously you've got really 2 options, I'd say, in Shackleton and Sam Byram.
For me, Sam Byram. Just looking at again the 1v1s wide with those wingers who are very quick. I think Sam Byram deals with speed. He's not the quickest fullback, but what he does positionally is excellent. You know, he doesn't get beat. And just generally, I just think he's been really good.
Yeah,
obviously
he's been our best left back, Annie, this season.
For sure, it's been really good. He's just grown and grown. And when we give him that rest, it was against Hull. He had a rest, didn't he? That's good because and we've had a bit of a rest since last game. It's been a week, which is wild in this league. So Sam Byram fit and ready.
Yeah,
cool.
And if he wants to play his style of football, Martin Walker Peters will go higher. So. Yeah. If we recover the ball, there's space behind him. So Byram is the fast one between him and Shackleton, I think, in that position. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And you have to face Armstrong too.
Yeah, let's go to the other flank then. Does Ayling, having had a layoff, we've had a week now, does he come back in, or were you impressed? See, for me, I look at the most complete performance that we've had, and Jamie Shackleton was a part of that. Now, I am going to suggest that we make a change at centre-back, so that sort of goes against what I'm saying. But I was really, really impressed with Jamie Shackleton. Up until this point, I'd said, look, for me, Ayling has to start. Ayling has to start. And that's nothing to do with subscriber count. That's nothing to do with love-ins or anything like that. That's just me saying, I think Ayling outside of Spence is your best right-back. Now, having seen Shackleton play there, I was really impressed. And I said after the game, this will be the first time that I'll go, oh, do you know what? Like, I think Jamie Shackleton was better there. So that's a real a position up for contention. What do you think, lads?
Honestly, if he plays Fraser, I think Shackleton can handle that, honestly. So I play Shackleton, especially having a good game in our best performance, like you said. I think I won't change it. I think he's earned his place. So I'll play him, honestly. I play him, honestly. Of course, in this type of games, there can also be the opposition, in terms of if we were in the House of Commons, there'll be the opposition saying, but in this kind of games, you have you need the experience. So that part, you will say play Ayling because he's the experienced players. He's a leader, one of the experienced players in the team. I get it at points, honestly, but I give Shackleton a chance because honestly, he's earned it against Watford. Yeah.
Shackley Ron.
Shackleton.
Yeah, I think I do. And Damar made a good point. I think he said Ayling got spun straight away when he came on. So there you go. I think Shackleton. For me, lads, I'm advocating a change. Cooper, as much as I love him, in both games he's played, when he came on, which game was that? It was Hull, won it when we went down to 10 men. When he came on there, wild challenges, and then again against Watford, he was a bit all over the shop. One time he had to hook it with his right boot, nearly went out for a corner, just confusion. I think we've looked better with the centre-back partnership of Struijk and Rodon, and I think Daniel Farke will see that fact and start them too. Do we agree?
Yeah, Rodon comes. The only reason Rodon didn't play is just obviously because of his red card. So yeah, I think them two have been excellent all season. When they played together, I think as soon as Rodon came in, Struijk has just become a different player, and that's the partnership. And the partnership is huge in the Championship as centre back in any league, to be honest. But having a strong partnership in the Championship is halfway winning a league defensively. Because you look at everyone that's won a league, defensive partnerships are all everything. So them two have been brilliant. Again, looking at the recovery speed of Rodon, that little bit of speed might help if they do try playing behind with the likes of Armstrong and Fraser and Adams as well. Rodon's got that little bit of recovery speed. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree totally. The Rodon and Struijk is our starting pair of centre backs, I think, going forward, and you cannot change it unless you have suspensions or injuries. I think. Yeah, that's the way we need to go with those two. Yeah,
100% agree. Right, number 8. It's difficult because I absolutely rated Kamara's performance, and for me, Gray was never meant to play as many minutes as he has. I think he will, and this might sound like a wild take, I think he will now become a bit part player, and I think that's okay. I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean more a case of like his minutes will be managed. He'll come on 60, 70 minutes when we need to change. I just think we look so much more. And listen, it's no surprise that the most complete performance came when you had two, for me, top quality operators in this league in Ampadu and Kamara. I'm not saying Gray isn't that, but again, he's still a young lad, whereas Kamara looks solid for me. So I would advocate bringing Kamara in.
Yeah, just personally, I loved Kamara. It was an experienced performance, wasn't it? From him. Everything was not easy, but everything just seemed so simple to him, but effective. I guess just to try and create a conversation, the only thing I can think that Farke might think for Gray at this point is how high they play their fullbacks. And you saw on the graphic the average position when Ryan Manning was playing was high, and then they had two very high players in Armstrong and Fraser, who predominantly played on our right side, which would suggest. And you look at Kamara's position, Kamara drifts a lot to the left, which might leave us a little exposed on that right. Whereas Archie Gray, as we've seen, operates more from the right. So maybe there's more cover when they play high up our right side. So that's my only thing for Archie Gray is he plays predominantly more from the right. So we might have more protection. But having said that, that's a conversation Daniel Farke must have had with his team. But I think he'll go with Kamara. But we do have to be careful of that because, like I said, you look at heat maps Kamara and you watch him play, he plays predominantly on the left. So if they are advanced up their left, which they usually are when they have Manning playing, we have to be careful. We go overloads in that position.
Andrea?
I'll play Kamara, honestly, because I think it gives us more momentum going forward. And trying to get in behind, it gives us more verticality. I'll play Gray in the second half, honestly. I think it'll be already changed, a plan substitution. I think we need to start with Kamara and Ampadu because for what we see in the league spaces, and I think for the formation they have, we need more ball carrying. I think Gray is more will be more helpful in this game in a defensive situation, like Loki said. So I'll start with Kamara, then a planned substitution in the second half will be Gray for Kamara for me for this game, because it's what depth is about. You plan the game 90 minutes in a certain situation, then you have like you see, for example, teams defending for the first half, then starting to attack from the 65th or 70th minute. So you have a game plan. I think a game plan needs to start with Kamara alongside Ampadu to give us cover with Ampadu and vision, and also ball carrying with Kamara.
I can't remember from the game. So Kamara spent a lot more time on the left. So naturally, did Ampadu play on the right of them two for that game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, more so because I just remember Ampadu always picking it up here in this sort of area. Kamara was over there, but when you've said that, like I do remember balls getting fired into this side. Do you know what I mean? It was never here, was it? It was always either here or there. So you're probably right in that Kamara will probably play more to this side of the pitch for sure.
Which is fine, because I think Ampadu can play either, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. This might sound wild for me, but I'm advocating starting James. Obviously, he's going to start. He's got 4 assists, but what I'm saying is I think this game will suit him because of like the spaces that could be left in behind in transition, especially from Southampton. And like PRE's just said there, from what I've heard, how Southampton play, this game is made for Dan James with lots of space. Yeah, exactly. So I would, for me, start James, and we're probably looking at Somerville on the other side, aren't we? Still no start for Anthony, but I think this game suits James, I think.
Yeah, and again, just on Anthony, like, if he's coming on in the 60th, 70th minute, and you have a player like Anthony coming on who can find spaces as well when players are tired, like we saw for his goal, find some great spaces, especially between the lines of the midfielders. Yeah, that's a good sub to bring on for sure.
I honestly agree, but I agree totally about being a game suited for James, but I think it may be more suited for him once the team stretched. So I'd rather start Anthony than bring on another planned substitution, James, in the second half when the two teams stretch more. And there'll be loads of spaces, especially if we have scored, for example. Southampton will try to get those. And the same if we are behind, the two team will stretch. There'll be more spaces, and I think James is an impact sub. And I think he has more impact in this game from the bench when there's fatigue, playing apart, when there's also the two teams stretching more, and on the pitch, try to, especially in from the 65th minute, So that's my point of view. But yeah, it's a good side either,
Yeah. Do you think he will do that, or are you
in what term?
Like, do you think he will put Anthony at the start, or do we think it'll be...
I probably think he start James again because of what you said too. Don't change the formation. That triumph against Watford, But honestly, I start with Anthony because also Anthony is able to do what James does, and also it's better, I think, in the 1v1 situations,
Definitely, yeah.
But that's my reason.
Yeah. Definitely, mate. I agree with you. Like, technically, he's streets ahead of James. People know my thoughts on James, but I think in this game he probably does start. Just more so, like you say, most assists in the league. And I think we're happy with that lineup, are we, lads?
Oh, that's great. That's a really good lineup, yeah. Very happy with it.
Yeah, especially because if we look at the players, of course, apart from the names, of course, they're all good names for the championship. You have the young players, Somerville, Rotter, the experienced one like Barham. You have the consistent one like Ampadu and Kamara. But apart from the names, is that there is a collective. There's a group of players playing together, and there's unity. It's not like last season when we had a group of players who looked like they were like playing a 11-a-side game together, like they were assembled together like that night. Sometimes this time there's unity, and there's belief. There's they know what they have to do. Everyone knows what he has to do in his position, how he has to play in his position. So they know that they have to sacrifice for the team. They know how to adapt to the situation. So, yeah, what gives us belief, I think, and positivity is that we finally have a team to be proud of, and results will come. Because if you have unity from the top to the bottom of the club, I think it's only a result. The results on the pitch are only a result of what's going on behind the scenes and at top patch during the week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a perfect example of that. Sorry, just really quickly.
Go on, mate.
Where the little quotes that came from Rutter today. I think he did an interview. I can't remember who it was with, but he spoke about when he came to Leeds and how Daniel Farke has helped him this year by just putting his arm around him and talking to him and actually discussing, because he knew him from Germany. He knew Farke from Germany. So he basically just put his arm around him and just helped him. And that's all it needs for some players sometimes. And he's mentioned about English and how he's learned himself as Jorginho Rutter. He's not had lessons, he's just learned himself. Probably been on Duolingo or something like that. So good to see that a player is now fully, not just committed, but is part of it and wants to be part of it. Because we need it in this long season. Yeah, it's just good to see stuff like that. We haven't had that in the last while, have we? So it is good to see.
No, definitely not. Just going on to predictions, lad. Just an update on last week on last week's predictions. I went for 3-0 Somerville. Yeah, I went to the bookies and bet 3-0 Pirro, and obviously it came in. But I went 3-0 Somerville, so I got the result. I got the correct result, correct score. Lockie, you went 3-1 Rutter. So you got a point for the correct result. Andrea went Leeds 2-1 Anthony. So again, just a point for the correct result. The guest, which I think might have been Vega, or I can't remember who it was.
Vega.
The guest
was Vega,
it was, yeah. He went for 3-1 Pirro. So just missed out, but still got 2 points for the correct result and goal scorer.
Andrea that does... miles off.
Yeah, I know.
What?
You were miles off, mate.
Yeah, I'm miles off,
Yeah. What that does to the overall table, Lockie's at the top with 5. I've got 4. Andrea's got 3, and the guest has 3 as well.
I'm not that off, Lockie. I'm not that off. I'm going back now.
So
the comeback starts now.
With this in mind, then, guests, you put some in the chat for me now, but we need your result and your first goal scorer. We need them both. So if you put them in, I'll star one and we'll read that out. I'm gonna go for. I think Southampton might score, but I'm confident we're gonna batter them. So I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go Leeds 4-1.
Oh, I was going to say the same.
4-1 with Pirro first goal. That's my prediction. Lockie, you're up next.
We need a boring win. We've not had a boring win in a while. It's been a draw or a 3-0 win. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win.
Okay.
Who's going to score that goal? Somerville. He needs a goal. Get Somerville one.
Somerville?
Yeah.
Cool. Andrea?
4-1.
4-1 again? Yes, love it.
It won't be an easy game because, of course, they are with their backs against the walls, because they have to. We'll see if they want to play with that for the manager or not too. Because in those situations, you see if the team is following their manager or not. Of course, it's not an easy place to go for us because apart from that comeback in 2006, we struggled there, especially last season when we were 2-0 up, I think, and 2-2 finished. Yeah, first 2-2. Last season under March. I'm gonna say 4-1, and I think Jorginho first goal scorer. Yeah,
Rutter
from outside the box. Lovely finish, left foot.
You're not getting extra points for that. I starred this one from Joshua Porritt. He has gone for Leeds 2-0 and Pirro. So there we go. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, me and Andrea both with the 4-1s. Lockie's gone 1-0. I've got Pirro as the guest. Lockie has Somerville, and Andrea has Rutter. There you go. So that's the predictions in. Thank you for everyone watching the video. Thank you to you two as well for putting in all the work. It's great. But yeah, look, I think we all believe Leeds United are going to win. And that, yeah, we're flying right now. What that does for Southampton, maybe he gets the sack. I'm not too sure. Look, Leeds are 6th. Win a game. We're still there. Sunderland beat Sheff Wednesday tonight 3-0. Jack Clark got a brace. Yeah, so we would go level on points with them on 16 if we were to win. They've got a better goal difference, having scored 10. I think they got 5. Did they get 5 against Southampton? I swear they got 5 against Southampton. 5, yeah.
You know what? The only problem is that we're doing good. But we need those 3 points again because Leicester, of course, are an ups and down team. Of course, they're not playing well sometimes, but they're getting wins, Ipswich have a very good team. Of course, we need to see how long they can hold on with that style of football, and because it's very demanding from the manager, I think. But they don't drop points, basically.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. So come on Blackburn tomorrow against Leicester, and come on Huddersfield against Ipswich. But I've got a feeling they'll probably both win them games. So yeah, we need to stay within touching distance. I know it's still a long way to go, and we've got to play them yet. We've got to play Leicester, so let's see how that goes. It's going to be a good one. Listen, folks, smash your like on the way out, please. Make sure you check out Lockie Leeds. Make sure you check out Andrea on Twitter, and hopefully we'll see you in the morning. I'm not sure if these lads might be still in bed, but I'll be here from 11:30. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, folks, and have a nice evening, good night's sleep, and hopefully 3 points tomorrow. Peace out, folks. Bye-bye.